Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is my Logik oven. Filthy as usual. It's got an intermittent fault. First of all, let's have a look here. Model LB Fan B16, but this should work really for any fan oven. Let's turn it on to fan. And that fan there, you hear that rattly noise? It started spinning and now it's slowing down. It ain't working. I'm glad I was able to show you that. It can be difficult to show a fault on a fan. So, I'm going to swap it out for a new fan. Let's get into it. There's a couple of screws here and here. Take them out. Turn off the power. Power's off. I think we have to do a bit from this side actually. Get the shelves out of the way. Looking inside at this grill on the back, this cover plate, there's 4 screws. Gets that baffle plate off. There you can see all around the fan is the element, and then there's a fan in the center. I'm gonna have to try and get that off while I'm here. I've got pliers. I have to turn this the wrong way if I recall. It's quite tight. So you want to try and tighten it. That's it. Tighten it rather than loosen it, and it should undo the nut. And then pull that off. That's that bit done. So now let's pull it out and turn it around. Reach in. It's very easy to come out. There's a handle on each side, I think. Yeah, there they are. Have a look at the cable. Alright. Pull up this way. On the back there's more screws. At this stage the power is off, but it's not isolated from the supply. I'm hoping... Oh yes, this one, excellent. If you take all the screws off, this one hinges out. You might have to take out the cables there to get it open, but in this case you don't, which is excellent. So in the center here is the fan, and here's my replacement model, which looks very similar. It should only have 2 connectors, and I don't believe it makes any difference what way around they go. I bought this off the internet based on a direct replacement for my oven. It has a different type of fan, but I'm going to use the old one. So take this screw off here, it's the same right hand thread, and then disconnect these guys. And then 3 screws. What I've done in the past with one of these is I've gotten in this far, and you can, if you want, completely clean and oil the shaft. You've got to take it apart. There's a couple of screws, it's not a big deal. I did that a year ago, and it's the oil that I put in has dried out again. So rather than come in here and do it that way, if you're a repair person, you don't want to mess around like that, you just want to fit a new one. It would take you longer than justifying the labor. And you might be back in a year's time, whereas this one should last a few years, hopefully. Well, guess we'll see. So I did the oil a year ago, and it's gone. And here, have a look at the spec on that if you want. Rotec. Push that through, offer it up. They have little bearings here that are bronze. Let's look at the one that came out of it. It was black, and it doesn't have any maker's name or anything like that on it as far as I can see. But it is the same type of one. And then close the back again. I should reattach the cables, of course. It's a good idea. So that bit lifts up at the top. So this bit up here lifts up. Get that door closed, jack it up, close it down, get some screws back in. I'd like to cover this up again. The reality is that the cables that are in it are just too fat for what's there, but it's really fine because it's behind an oven. You can't get anywhere near it, so I'm not going to worry. When I'm putting it back in, I'm going to make sure I don't pinch that cable somewhere. That's it, back in. So climb right in again. For this up, it has a D shape in the center, if you can see that. So it'll only fit on the shaft one way. And then tighten the nut up by going the wrong way. Tighten it right up. Check that it spins, that's a good idea. Get your screwdriver, 4 rusty screws. You could of course do this when it's not fitted, but that's up to you. Different makes and models may have more or fewer screws. It's just a matter of keeping an eye out and seeing how you go. This is a job I've never done before, so I am just making it up as I go along. But I know what I'm doing, because I've done it on other ovens. I don't think you need to go too tight on those screws. Actually, I'll do it with the door open while we're here. Let's turn it on to fan. Of course, I've got to turn the power on. Okay, so the power's back on. I'm going to turn it back on to fan. And it's come up, it's spinning steadily. I can feel the breeze out of it, so I can. So I'll turn it off again. And then, when I'm sure it's working, we'll put the 2 screws in on either side again. In this case, they go in at a bit of an angle to get a grip on the timber. Thanks for watching. Questions or comments, leave them below. See you later.